in the early days, Habitat was very grassroots. When we were in New York, it wasn't an organization that was well known. And I kind of liken it to, how we always hear about NIL, name, image, and likeness. Jimmy Carter used his name, his image, and likeness to amplify causes that he really believed in, and Habitat for Humanity was one of those. And his work at the Carter Center was another great example. But he used his involvement with Habitat to bring over 100,000 other people in to help work with Habitat. He brought, because of him, dignitaries would get involved with Habitat, celebrities would get involved with Habitat, and we became a household name over the years.
It's interesting. There was a comment, I think, made during one of the eulogies and basically said that Jimmy Carter, the official or public official versus what he was in person or in his personal life, they weren't anything different. And that was a true sign of integrity, that who he was what you saw all the time. Tell us about that and your experiences with him.
I can attest to that on the job site. He was this blend of funny and personable and determined. And, when he would be working so hard on the job site, he led by his own example. And he would meet a volunteer and have a funny moment. He would connect with the homeowner and just, you could see his heart was just in their story and wanting to hear what's going on in their life. And for the rest of us, it was like, let's get to work, So he was determined. We would start building the homes on a Monday morning, and the homes the goal was to finish them by Friday at noon. So there was a lot of work to do to build a home in a week, and we had thousands of volunteers, and he would get us all rowing in the right direction.
We heard a lot today about what he liked to do in his life after he was president. We heard some grandsons talk about how he was making a cradle for grandkids or great grandkids. He was a carpenter. He knew how to work with wood. He was also somebody who was very much shaped by faith and did Bible classes weekly. How would you say his faith shaped him in terms of service? Because you did attend some of his Bible classes.
I did. I was fortunate to be able to go to Maranatha Baptist Church a few times when he was teaching those classes. And I think his faith just guided him in every decision he made, in every move that, as far as organizations that he got involved with his political decisions. And so, he would relate stories either of encouragement or stories of context to the work we were doing with Habitat. He did devotions at the job site every morning as well to get us all, more in tune with our faith and why we were all there. And that, the work of Habitat is something that carries out, God's calling for our life to help one another.
Erin, we were just showing earlier some shots about, showing his work for Habitat for Humanity. He did that with Rosalind, like the two of them side by side, building
It
homes.
was both of them.
I mean, so much of when you think about Jimmy Carter, and you think about his ultimate confidant, even in the White House, right? It was his wife. I mean, the two of them together for such a long time in marriage, but together on so many more levels, if you will.
She was his full partner in every aspect of his life, whether it was the campaign trail. She redefined the first lady role at the White House because she didn't just want to do some of the philanthropic things. She also liked to be involved in understanding what was going on with our government. And he credited her for a lot of the great decisions that he made over that period of time. And also, when she first came to the Habitat job site, she was a little intimidated and was wondering what she would be able to contribute. But boy, she got in there. She was painting and hammering, and she was very involved with, building the homes too. And she saw what a difference that made to the families.
Hey, Erin, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk to you about what's happening in Los Angeles because you are president and CEO of Habitat for Humanity Los Angeles. We don't know how many structures have burned at this point. What we do know is that the fires there, several of the large ones, do remain uncontained at this point. I'm wondering from your perspective how you're thinking about this, how you're thinking about rebuilding. Obviously, with the caveat that some of these areas are not necessarily areas where Habitat for Humanity operates within Los Angeles, but somebody with your perspective, how are you thinking about this?
Yes. Well, thanks for asking. Obviously, it's on all of our hearts and minds right now, and I'm rushing back home to respond. But I think once Habitat for Humanity is involved in the long-term recovery group, and our focus is on rebuilding and helping everybody to get back into their home. And even though there are expensive homes in these areas, there's a lot of just regular folks that live in these areas too. There's apartment buildings and mobile home parks and homes that people have paid off and didn't carry insurance on. And what we found after the Woolsey fire in 2018 was there was a lot of uninsured or underinsured folks in these areas as well. So Habitat will go in and will help people who don't have enough insurance to pay for the rebuilding of their homes, and we will help folks with anything that we can, to get them back into their homes. So we rebuilt over 120 wildfire destructed homes after the 2018 fires, and we stand ready to do that again.